The Jeff Davis 8. There are places in America where the air itself feels heavier, where the heat doesn't just warm but smothers, clinging like damp cloth across your face. Jefferson Davis Parish is one of those places. The swamps breathe differently there. The water doesn't flow so much as it stagnates, and in its stillness things grow. Things rot. Things hide. I never meant to stay here. Passing through was all I wanted, just another stretch of road through the endless South. But something caught me, something in the air, something in the silence between cicadas. Once you stop here, once you breathe it in, you don't leave the same. Some don't leave at all. The nights come thick, drenched in humidity. The sky never truly darkens. It glows faint, a deep bruised purple, the reflection of lights from distant refineries bleeding across low clouds. The swamp speaks in whispers, frogs, birds, insects, all stitched together into a sound that is less a chorus than a warning. At first, I thought it was comforting, until I began to hear the spaces between the sounds. Those gaps that should have been nothing, but weren't. Gaps filled with something else, something muffled, choked. The locals don't talk much, but their silence is a language of its own. Eyes darting, lips pressed too tight, voices dropping whenever the subject drifts to certain names. 8 names, though they never say them all in one breath. 8 women, each one gone, each one found later, discarded like refuse in the water and weeds. They call them the Jeff Davis 8, though not here, not out loud. Here they are just shadows, stains no one can scrub clean. I thought I could read about them, learn, and move on. But I made the mistake of driving those back roads, the ones that run narrow between the swamp and the fields, where the trees close in too tightly overhead. The smell hit me first, a mixture of wet earth, diesel, and something sharper. Sweet at its edges, but wrong. Decay. It clung to the air like a film, sticking to the back of my throat. I pulled over once, thinking I needed a moment, that the heaviness in my chest was just the humidity. But when I stepped out, the silence pressed closer. The insects stopped, all at once, as if holding their breath. The water at the roadside shifted, ripples spreading though nothing moved across its surface. I stood there, sweat dripping down my back, feeling the weight of eyes I couldn't see. The roadside grass bent under no wind. That was when I noticed it, the impression in the weeds, the faint depression of a body that had once lain there. The earth seemed darker, wetter, as if it had absorbed something it was never meant to. My skin prickled, and I couldn't force myself back into the car fast enough. But once you notice them, they notice you. The dreams began after that. Each night I closed my eyes, I was back on those roads, the swamp stretching endlessly on either side. The air tasted of copper, thick and metallic, and I heard the gurgle of water as if something were trying to rise through it, choking on mud. I would wake drenched in sweat, the smell of rot still in my nostrils, my hands clenching the sheets like they were weeds dragging me under. It didn't stop there. During the day, reflections betrayed me. Passing windows, mirrors, even the shimmer of water in potholes. I would catch glimpses of them. Pale faces, wide eyes, mouths half open as if mid-scream, hair plastered wet against their skin. Always 8 of them, never more, never less. They never spoke, but their silence was louder than words. Once, driving back toward town, I saw them on the side of the road. Just for a moment, 8 figures lined up in the weeds, their heads turning in unison as my headlights swept across them. Their skin glistened with water, their clothes torn, hanging heavy. My hands clenched the wheel so tightly I thought it might snap. When I looked again, the roadside was empty, grass swaying gently as if nothing had been there at all. The smell follows me everywhere now. Even in my room, far from the swamps, I catch it seeping from the corners. That sweet, rotting perfume of bodies left too long in the heat. Sometimes it grows so strong it chokes me awake, gasping for air that doesn't burn. And beneath it, always the sound, water moving where no water should be, as if something is dragging itself across the floor. I understand now why no one here speaks. It isn't fear of men, though men did this. It isn't fear of justice, though justice never came. It is fear of what lingers. Those women, those 8, they never left. Their silence fills the parish, seeps into the soil, rides the mist that curls low over the fields at night. They wait, they watch, and now I carry them with me. Their weight presses on my chest when I try to sleep. Their cold breath brushes my neck when I am alone. My reflection is no longer just mine. Sometimes, when the light hits wrong, there are 8 faces layered over mine, eyes hollow, mouths slack. The Jeff Davis 8 are not gone. They are in the weeds, in the water, in the silence between the swamp's whispers. And if you ever drive those roads, if you ever breathe that heavy air and feel the insects fall quiet all at once, you will know them too. You will smell the sweetness that is not sweet. You will see the grass bend under no wind. And you will understand that their silence is not empty. It is waiting. It is endless. And once it finds you, it never lets you go. Stolen identity. It began with something small. A letter in the mail with my name, but not my address. A bank statement for an account I never opened. At first, I thought it was an error, a clerical mistake, a glitch in the endless system of numbers and names. But then came the calls, voices asking for me, not at home, but in other towns, other cities. They said I had been there. They said I had done things. The unease settled into me like damp air clinging to my lungs. I tried to ignore it, but the world around me began to warp. I caught sight of myself where I had never been. A security camera image in a gas station window, the grainy reflection showing my face walking out of a store I had never entered. A driver's license in another state with my photograph, but a different address, a different life. It was as though pieces of me had been stolen and scattered across places I could not reach. The smell was the first real sign something was wrong. My apartment carried it before anything else, a faint metallic tang, like pennies pressed against the tongue. It came strongest at night, filling the air no matter how much I cleaned. I would wake with it in my nose, sharp, lingering, mixed with the faint musk of sweat that wasn't mine. The sheets felt wrong, too. The fabric, rougher than I remembered, carrying an imprint as though someone else had lain there. The mirror betrayed me next. I stood in front of it one morning, brushing my teeth, when I noticed the reflection lag. My movements were mine, but a fraction slower, as if the glass were thinking before responding. And in that delay I saw it, my eyes, but not mine. They were wider, emptier, darker, staring back at me, accusing. Everywhere I went, the sensation followed. Grocery stores, libraries, even walking the street. A presence just behind me, close enough to breathe against my neck, but gone the moment I turned. The sound of footsteps that didn't match mine, slightly off, half a beat behind. The air heavier, the silence thicker, as if it were hiding something it didn't want me to hear. I started losing time. Hours, sometimes whole nights. I would wake up in clothes I didn't remember putting on, shoes caked with mud though I hadn't left my apartment. Receipts appeared in my pockets, places I had never been, diners with neon signs, gas stations along highways I never drove, each one with my name, my card number, my signature scrawled at the bottom. The smell grew worse. Not just metal, not just sweat, but rot. Sweet, cloying, like fruit left too long in the sun, with something darker underneath. My walls absorbed it, breathing it back at me, no matter how many candles I burned or windows I opened. The odor clung to my clothes, my hair, my skin. I couldn't wash it away. I stopped trusting my own reflection. It lingered longer now, watching me even when I turned my head. Sometimes it smiled faintly, the corners of its mouth twitching, even when mine stayed still. Once, I watched its lips move, whispering something I couldn't hear, while my own mouth remained closed. The dreams came next. Or maybe they weren't dreams. I would wake in strange places, motel rooms with floral curtains, hallways with buzzing fluorescent lights, parking lots under the orange glare of sodium lamps. My body moved as if pulled by strings, my vision blurred, my thoughts not my own. And always, always, the smell of rot clinging to everything, stronger than before. In those moments, I felt someone else inside me, a weight pressing against my ribs, crawling through my veins, pushing me aside. My hands weren't mine anymore. My voice didn't sound like mine. I would catch glimpses in windows as I passed, a figure wearing my face but stretched wrong, thinner, paler, with eyes that didn't blink. I tried to fight it. I tried to stay awake, to keep myself anchored. But the silences grew longer, the gaps wider. People began looking at me differently. Strangers waved as though they knew me. A cashier asked if I was back again so soon. My neighbors swore they saw me leaving the building when I hadn't moved all day. The identity wasn't stolen. It was replaced. Something else wore me, lived in me, used me. My name, my face, my life, none of it belonged to me anymore. I was becoming the echo, the shadow, the lagging reflection behind the glass. And now, when I look in the mirror, I no longer move first. The reflection does. Its eyes lock onto mine, unblinking, its smile too wide, too hungry. I feel the weight of it pressing through, the smell of rot filling my lungs until I choke. I don't know how much longer I can resist. Pieces of me are already gone, my time, my name, my body. What remains is thin, fading, slipping through cracks I can't close. I am the stolen one. Not my credit, not my name, not my life. Me. I was taken, hollowed out, worn like a mask. And when the last piece of me is gone, when there's nothing left to fight, no one will notice. They will see my face, hear my voice, speak my name. They will believe I am still here. But I won't be. I never will be again.